So you've just fallen off the wagon of another diet and gone on another binge. But how could the diet be causing your binge eating? Well, hi, I'm Vanessa McLennan, and on this channel we talk about all things the psychology to do with binge eating, overeating, food addiction, and I help you heal and break free from those eating addictions. So let's get into how a diet could be actually causing your binge eating. So the purpose of a diet is to give you ideas for how much to eat, perhaps when to eat, and what to eat. So that is what a diet is about. It is a guideline, and I would say it works for when you need a small course correction. So that is, you eat in a regular way. You already eat, intuitively. So in other words, you know what you like, you know when you're hungry, you eat when you're hungry. And the small course correct is perhaps you just need to eat a little bit healthier. Perhaps you need to eat just a little bit less. And the idea is that you follow the diet's ideas, as in healthier alternatives for what it is that you're eating, how to still eat sustainably. In other words, food that you're still comfortably full, but perhaps healthier, so that's less quantity and healthier, so hence you lose that way. And the idea is, obviously, you follow it, you start losing weight, but it's a small course correct in that you follow the changes and it changes your lifestyle and you're able to carry that on. That's the purpose of a diet. So a diet is never ever going to work for you, and this is the diet's not working if you're not in touch with your hunger, if you eat in a disordered way, and if you eat, irregularly, and you sort of really don't know where you are with your eating. Because a diet does not address, emotional eating. It does not address the mindset. And some of them are just downright healthy in terms of, drinking loads of drinks, and then that's not sustainable, or, packet food, or something that's, you have to sort of, is a lot of weighing, is a lot of measuring. Also, if you're eating in a disordered way, you need to be in tune with yourself to give yourself small course corrections, rather than, having something that's telling you what to weigh, what to measure, what to do, what not to do. It's too much of a change. So here's how then the diet could be causing your binge eating. Restriction. When we really restrict our food, we suddenly start yearning for all that food that we tell ourselves that we can't have. How many times do we say, right, today I'm not going to eat crisps, I'm not going to eat chocolate. And guess what we really want for that day? Also, when we are restricting our food, it's not then meeting our emotional needs. So in other words, we are turning to food for an emotional reason. And okay, we're turning to the wrong food. But when we cut out that food, what we're doing is really sort of not applying the anesthetic. So all of that food that we're turning to, for some reason, dampens our feelings. It allows us to forget our feelings. It allows us to focus on the food instead of the unconscious, bringing up emotions and feelings for us. So when we cut that out, we're then faced unconsciously with all the feelings, emotions, reasons that are turning us to food in the first place. And that is actually quite hard to sit with. So hence what we see is us really wanting that food that in the short term makes us feel better. So by restricting too much, it's like ripping that plaster off, but it's too big of a wound to rip the plaster off. You actually do need to rip it off slowly, and you need to start letting the wound heal slowly from within before you rip that plaster off, to be able to cope and balance out the high and the low. Lack of control. When we go on a diet, we are essentially handing over, our control of eating to something outside of us. So it was the outside, this diet, that is telling us, what to eat and when to eat. And it's like we don't have any control over that. We are following some system that's outside of us. So when we are doing that, we are not then, learning about ourselves. We are not then learning what we need to eat and what we can't eat, what is good for us and what isn't good for us, depending on what our bodies say. So we know that there's something psychologically driving us to binge eat and to eat the way that we do. So even though we think a diet may help us, actually what it stops us from doing is looking psychologically inside of us to go, well, what is actually causing me to go and turn to this food? So by cutting out the diet, even though we may, have disordered eating, we actually can learn from those patterns and we can start investigating into ourselves what is causing us to binge eat. Lack of understanding. So when we follow this diet, what we really lack is developing the understanding of ourselves. So as I say, we're following this outside system of, what to eat and when to eat. And that might work for a short period of time, but of course it doesn't work in the long run, because if we have disordered eating, the psychological reasons for us eating are still going to be there. So by actually coming away from a diet and continuing on the way that we eat, and okay, we might not like it, but it helps us to understand ourselves. So all we might see is, but when I eat, let's say intuitively, when I go and eat what I want to eat, all I want to eat are the pizzas, the ice creams, the chocolates, and that's not good. So I need a diet to help me, stay on track, because what I often hear is, I just want somebody to tell me what to eat and then I'll be okay. But I think instinctively we know what to eat. We know what to eat to keep us healthy. It's the patterns of eating that need, correcting, not what it is that we eat. So by going and eating regularly, it gives us the opportunity to look inside of ourselves and to really start to notice patterns and what our emotional drivers are. So at first glance, it might be, well, it's just the taste of the pizza, or, I feel good. But it's perhaps being curious with yourself and looking a bit deeper into that. Like, what causes you to want that pizza? Is it hunger or is it something else? And start making, a note of it so you can keep track of your patterns. What causes you to really want that sweet tooth if that's what you have? Does it give you energy? Is there something behind it? And by really starting to investigate your emotions by how you feel, before you eat, while you eat, and after you eat, that will start to help you break it down. But it's the curiosity that will help you get behind those patterns. So thank you for watching, and if you like what you see on this channel, please subscribe, and I release a video every single week. Thank you.